Administrator, I appreciate the opportunity. You called me at my office. We had a good discussion, so I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I read a little bit. I want to talk about health care. It's a little maybe off the subject, but I want to touch base on the White House had sent out a bunch of mailers of small business in terms of talking about tax credits and other things. What's the SBA doing to work with small businesses about the new health care bill in terms of compliance or in terms of tax credits that they might receive? Do you have an aggressive effort? Maybe you covered that. I don't know. I got here a little late, but I just wanted to touch base on that because I'm hearing a lot of that in the business community. I was back home this weekend, and we had an actual hearing in our area. But healthcare is a big issue for small business, and they're trying to make sense of where we're at in that process.
Yes, we do have an aggressive effort in the area of making sure that small businesses that might be eligible for the new 2010 healthcare tax credits know that they might be. On our website immediately is the IRS guidance and kind of plain common sense examples so that a small business can walk themselves through what they might be able to apply for as a tax credit. And I was saying that we're also going to train our personnel, whether it's in the SBDCs and other places, to help a small business get the money that they need, because this is cash in their pocket 2010. We believe that 4 million of the 6 million small businesses that have employees may in fact be eligible, so that's a pretty big number.
The other thing, on a little different note maybe, but we just had a conference that I spoke at where we had Panama and a lot of our people in our area, small business people primarily, looking to do more business in Central and South America. I'm in Florida. As the SBA had discussions with the Export-Import Bank of the United States trade representatives on ways to increase exports by small businesses, as you recall, the President made that part of his State of the Union he thought that was a great opportunity to create jobs, and I agree. And I don't know if you want to touch on the other thing, the free trade agreement that came up a lot about Panama and the U.S. and why we can't get that done.
We are part of the President's National Export Initiative, where we are working to double exports over the next 5 years. 30% of exports are done by small business, which is under indexes, so there's a lot of opportunity. Only 250,000 small businesses export. We at the SBA provide the leadership in the Small Business Export Trade Coordinating Committee, which includes Department of Commerce, Department of State, and the Import-Export Bank. So Gary Locke and Fred Hochberg and myself go on the road, and we have a big effort around small business exporting that is very much an interagency effort as well. And we will be implementing a lot of new programs. We right now train 17,000 small businesses a year in exporting, but we're going to do more.
And my last question is just, we did a congressional hearing with a fellow member of the panel. He's actually chairman of the Finance and Tax. I'm the ranking member, Congressman Schrader, in my district, I think Monday, I guess it was. And we talked about access to capital. There still appears to be all the banks in our area, maybe it's different in different areas, especially all the community banks, but even the bigger banks, they're not in the business of lending money, but that's their primary source. Is there any way that the SBA in this environment, because it's so tough for small business to get access to credit, that they could do any kind of direct lending to qualified small businesses? Because I got to tell you, we had one guy as a witness that does consulting for the region, and he says he's, credit that was very easy to get, or they've had more than enough collateral. They can't get, there's no credit, absolutely zero or very little available, because they're looking at past earnings in our region, and a lot of businesses haven't done very well the last year or two. Is there any thought about that at all?
Well, as we know, you were kind enough to invite one of our capital access folks down there with you, and you have a particularly
and he did a good job,
tough,
by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a great team. But you have a particularly tough geography, and your banks, have particularly been hit hard and are recovering more slowly. We, as I said earlier, have brought our SBA lending back above the 2007-2008 levels, but the rest of the market is not recovering as fast. So what we have done is go through where the gaps of the markets are, and we have proposed specific parts of the jobs plan, whether it's something for commercial real estate, owner-occupied commercial real estate, whether it's something for working capital lines of credit, or frankly, just continuing this really successful 90% guarantee and fee reductions. That is only continued now through, I believe, the end of May. We very much hope that Congress might consider continuing it further, at least through the fiscal year end.
Thank you, and I yield back.